It's called Padlet, and it's really great just to share ideas so that everyone does get to participate. So what I'm going to do, I made the Padlet so that you have an opportunity to add any remarks that you were thinking maybe you didn't get to share tonight, or any questions that you have. So I can just put up a QR code, and you can scan that, and then you'll join in to my Padlet. So I'll give you just a moment to get that. There we go. And this is something that I've used before. It can be anything from collecting information. We did one about amphibians. So each student was given a different, well, they were partnered up and given a different amphibian, and they were able to go online and do research about them, and it was just kind of another way to present that information. They can type on it, they can add videos, they can add pictures. Right now, I see you're adding information. Great job, guys. We need to find out how to pay for this amazing tech tool. So it's just kind of a way for everyone to speak up and have that opportunity. We do this when we're voting for just anything, really. When we're voting for movie night, what we're going to show. This is a really quick way to get input. It takes a lot less time than having to poll the whole class. And they really just enjoy it. They can go in, if they were making their own Padlet, they can go in and change the background and add different titles and things like that to it to personalize it for what they're working on. In this case, I thought pencils were pretty appropriate.
All right, thank you very much for your evening.
Some of them work better than others, and is there a suggestion that the board's going to get at a later date on how we should proceed or what your recommendations are?
Yes. I guess, you want me to handle that or you want to handle it? At this point, what I think the group wanted to share with you is some of the great things that have been going on with the pilot. The committee is making a lot of progress. They're not quite at the point where they have a final recommendation yet. And part of that is because I'm slowing them down a little bit because we don't know yet what the state's going to do with school funding. And so to really bring you something that's a complete recommendation for a plan on how to move forward is probably more a holdup of outside factors than it is the work of the committee. But I think there's still a few details that they want to put together. But this is really amazing stuff. Amazing work that they've done, and I think you can see how impactful this could be and engaging for students. And the sky's the limit. I mean, what these folks are doing is really truly amazing. So that's what we wanted to share with you a little bit tonight. But the plan is we will come back with a plan for how we can utilize technology K-8. You're getting a few little snapshots here, but there will be more details to come, hopefully by late summer or early fall.
Sorry. I'm
definite interest in the building. We have iPad cards that we're able to check out, and, one card only goes so far. So, when you don't have the resources that the students can use, it is a bit of an hindrance.
And do you find it kind of across the board? Because I'm just wondering, most of y'all are young, whereas sometimes it's even for me, I was nervous that I was not gonna know what to do, so I'm just wondering if that's
One of the things that we want to do is actually have in-services. I've already started doing some in my building where we learn a new app and we actually show the teacher how to do it. And what we want to do is actually give them lessons to go along with it. So it's not just, here's an app, it's really cool. It's, here's a lesson that you can actually teach today or tomorrow if you wanted to really get into it. We want to do that. We don't want to just give the teachers iPads and be like, here, figure it out. We want to give the education along with it. I was nervous about having an iPad when I first started here too. What am I going to do with it? I'm good at figuring things out, but not everybody is. So we really want to do that education piece along with it.
The team that I'm on at my school, it's me and then the other two teachers on my team have both been teaching almost 30 years, and they have been really invested in iPads as well. Even one of the teachers made a comment today that he wanted to try something, but we don't have the iPad cart was checked out, so he couldn't do it. The other teacher has had the iPads checked out for the last several weeks. So even they, teaching as long as they have, they're trying to pull it into their classrooms and see how engaged the kids are with it. So they're trying to utilize that because they see how effective it is.
We have a lot of unofficial pilots going on is what it sounds like, which is good.
So is it correct to say that these pilots are complete now, and we're now just assessing the utility of what methods are the most effective? What point are we at? Are we gonna continue these pilots when school starts again, or
Open to
narrow them to?
be ready to give you recommendations before school starts next year.
If the pilots are over, we'll assess, we'll give us a recommendation, and will that be something that we hope to be able to start at the beginning of semester?
Not at the beginning of school, and I don't think it was ever
Or
really envisioned
sometime?
that we would be able to do it at the beginning of school, but hopefully we'll be able to get moving with this sometime during the school year next year.
It's important too, because there's upfront costs, but then there's savings on the back end, like for example, the paper savings. So I'm anxious to see how affordable this tool is. Tim, do you have any comments on the pilots?
Well, I'm sorry, I missed all the fun. No, I think the question I had was probably already asked, and I'll give it to Dr. Carlin just to confirm that I understand. But, yeah, I'm sorry I missed the presentation from the teachers, and sounds like, I did go and visit one of the schools that was one of the pilots. I think it was at Burnaby Fifth, and, the kids were really engaged with their math, and I thought it worked well in that classroom. But there's a lot of opportunities with technology. That's all you hear about is technology today. Every channel you turn on TV, they're talking about technology in the future, and we're definitely ahead of the game, I think. But we got some room to grow. Of course, it all depends on what kind of money we get. That's always a big question. Can we afford it, and how do we pay for it, and make sure that all classrooms have it, so that we're treating all kids equal, I guess. And that's probably my biggest concern is how do we get it in all classes in all schools, so that all kids have that technology and move forward.
Another thing that I
It sounds
noticed.
like Dr. Farland has that plan, or they're working on it, so we'll be patient and see what happens.
Good. Another thing I noticed, and you might have noticed it too, Tim, but in some of the classrooms, you could identify the students that were really tech savvy and how they stood up and they helped their peers, and it was a really great opportunity, not only for the learner, but for the student teacher, and confidence on that. And then I just thought it was great how you could
Yeah, and I agree with you. You could see a kid looking over his shoulder to see if his partner or her partner was on the same level that they were, and they kind of stretched over and helped them. And yeah, I did that. I saw that too. That you know, they were all engaged, helping each other, and were following the teacher right along. So
Yeah. Good, has
and
everybody
of
had an
course, I was
opportunity,
only one classroom.
has everyone had an opportunity to visit a pilot?
I have,
You haven't? Well, I know Mr. Horny's put out several invitations. Has anyone come to your class yet?
one.
All right. You caught me in the hallway.
I do have a question, just one last one, sorry. But I was thinking to myself just now, my kids would love that craft, the glass craft. It would scare me, because I don't play games and I don't understand them, you know, really. And so do you do any kind of parent training or, you know, so they know what this means or what their kids are doing with some of these programs? I can see the cute ones that are easy and you understand that. I just wonder about some of the more technical ones, like how do you talk with parents about this app that you're using with the kids and how you use it, or
They have a printout that you can send home with the parents, and that's what I did this time. And there's an incentive, if you send a printout and you have the paid version, which I have, the kids automatically get a free Griffin pen, and it looks kind of cool. So that's the incentive for the kid to actually send that home so the parents can get on and see how they're doing in class. And the parents can actually give them incentives too. The parents can give them up to 15 gold a night for taking out trash or doing anything like that. I do want to start next year, at the beginning of the year, really get into it, and when I first meet the parents, give them all the information and let them know, let them see how to get logged onto it so they have a better idea from the beginning. I got into this a little bit later. I actually went to SAM, so I got into it a little bit later, but I want to start out really strong next year with it.
My parent feedback was really good about it too. It has messaging, so just like on Class Dojo, you can send messages, keep in contact with the parents. It has behavior reports as well. It's not a pie chart, but it's a line graph that you can use to see how the kids are doing. So I had a couple parents that same thing. They kind of said, "Oh my goodness, it's a lot. You know, there's a lot going on with this." But as the year went on, they said my kids love it, and I have notifications set up on my phone with it, and just all night I'll see my kids are doing this. They're on it. They're buying things. They're healing their teammates, and then my parents contact me and say, "Hey, you know, my kid actually does the dishes now because they want to earn gold to get that new pet." So,
well, we have math nights and different reading activities and things, yeah, but
We did that at our building with one of the apps that we use, and it was one of the stations that they were able to go to. Even though we are the only ones that used it more often than not, the parents were able to see like what they might use next year, third, fifth grade parents and sixth grades.
that's awesome. Like that one I wrote down today,
Well, I think the instant feedback too is so important for learning, because you don't, if you answer something and turn it in and you get a paper back next week, you don't remember if you got it right or not. You can build on it instantly if you know you're on track. So I think there's just so many positive things from technology that we haven't even touched on.
Seems to me the technology bridges cultures more than the way that we were doing it in the past, maybe with textbooks or some other methods. And considering our student population, it seems to really engage all of them. So I think that's
Yes, please. Okay, yeah, I couldn't believe it when I had the one parent message me. They're like, "Oh my gosh, he does the dishes every night now because he wants gold."
I've heard it before.
Moving on to the board meeting dates for July.
So, we have shared in your packet, I think, 2 dates, July 10th and July 24th, as potential meeting dates for July. We need to set those dates, either this meeting or the next meeting. They need to be done before we get there. And then in July, we'll have you approve all the board meeting dates for the coming year. I'll share with you later this week a sample of the rest of the dates. But just from an organizational standpoint, we need to approve those July meetings so we can advertise those. If we're gonna stay with Mondays, it's kind of a no-brainer, because the third would be another choice, and that with the fourth on Tuesday would probably not be a great choice for a meeting day. And so the 10th and the 24th appear to be the more obvious choices. And I did have one board member ask about, could we maybe look at the 24th as a shorter meeting, a pay the bills kind of meeting. Problem is, those July meetings and August meetings are when we're doing our budget, and so there's kind of a 3-meeting sequence that we normally do to make sure that information is out there. So it would probably be difficult to do that, although we may be able to keep the agenda a little shorter on the 24th. We can try to do that, but my recommendation continue would be to have a regular meeting for that second meeting in July. So we can do the budget.
So any questions? We need a motion.
Madam President, I move that we approve, July 10th and July 24th as meeting dates.
I second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand or say aye.
Tim, are you okay?
Aye. Yeah, aye, I'm good.
Okay. And we're on to board open discussion. Does anyone have anything they want to?
I would just say, it almost goes without saying, but I thought it was a very successful graduation ceremony. You know, huge kudos to all the staff and the organization of it, to the speakers, to the air conditioning operators. It worked really pretty well. So, thank you.
And we'll pass that along. We've already been sharing that. And, not only with Garden High, but with the Garden City Alternate Education Center graduation the week before. We're going to be, I believe, a little over 500 graduates again by the time all the dust settles. And so pretty proud of that and the accomplishments of these kids and the staff and the schools that are helping them achieve these great accomplishments. So we'll pass that on.
It was first rate. I mean, we still have that challenge of restricting attendance. And we'll talk about that, I'm sure, at some point on into the future. But for the venue and for the consistency and top professionalness and courtesy, even of the parents. I think one air horn maybe is all I heard, but it was just a good commencement.
That Well, I really enjoy graduation, and I'm amazed that you were able to move the graduates through the line the way that we did with everybody that came in college, but not slowing down. And I think that all the parents appreciated that as well. And the Hall of Fame speaker that we were able to have, and they didn't know that shared that was great too. I hope at some point when he's back that we can close on him and talk to our students in person, because I think we would be very motivating for a lot of the students to listen to. And the alternative school graduation, that's one of the things we look at. It's really nice to be able to partner with the community college and to get students to step into that building and see that that's a possibility, or maybe some other places that they might want to be there. It's just nice to get them for that. And I know we also have the staff appreciation dinner, so anyone's available, I would encourage you to attend, because it's really nice to see how many of these people are put in so many years of their lives to dedicate to the students in our community. And so many people are retiring this year as well. So I'm hoping that these will come back and also teach us.
We have to wait 60 days to talk to them.
So don't bring it up at the dinner.
One other thing I might comment on, House Bill 2410 was passed out of committee today. It changed considerably over what we had hoped. I think originally it was an increase in school funding of $750 million over a 5-year period. Coming out of committee, it's an increase of about $280 million over a 2-year period. And then an index would be put in place for the consumer price index. Very pleased to see some progress. Legislature has a lot going on, a lot on their plate. But I'm also very concerned of whether or not that amount is going to rise to the level that will satisfy the Gannon decision. So certainly it's still got to go to the House floor, to the Senate, and the governor, so it's got a long ways to go yet, but I'm concerned with the timeline and the amount of time that's left to have a decision by June 30th that's going to satisfy the court and really be what's in the best interest of our students. So never a bad time to contact your legislators and let them know what you're thinking and how important this decision is. Again, our last funding formula was developed in 1992 and was in place for 23 years. So this is a pretty critical decision, and there's a lot riding on this. So it'd be a good idea to stay kind of attuned to the news, what's going on, and weigh in if you have thoughts. We'll continue to communicate from the district's perspective with our legislators and advocate for our kids.
I did just have one more comment, and I just wanted to let you know, and especially you, Mr. Hogan, when I sign these things and I see so many names of students, people who are coming back to our employ, who I know were students here, through this, and some of the teachers that came through even this evening. So your Grow Your Own program is working really well, and it seems to have started even before we formally made it that kind of a program. So I think that really is the right way to approach this. So.
I appreciate that, and just I think it's a real testament to Garden City Public Schools that students having went through this process are now wanting to come back and serve their communities. So it says a lot about us as a district. So thank you.
Jim, did you have anything else?
No, I agree with, Mark's comments and yours also. Graduation, can be very special this year for some reason. I can't put my finger on it. You know, there was a lot of, administrators with children who were graduating, and Mark graduating, his son graduating. You know, it just, it was a good feeling all night long. The guy at home just all was special knowledge, so I'm glad that we're allowed to be there, and, thanks for the reserved parking. I saw Gloria get in and out, found the car real easy. Come on.
Gloria's
We're all
happy,
pretty
everybody's
quick.
happy.
So, thank you. The new phone system seems to work real well. I heard almost everyone pretty clearly. So thanks for setting that up so that I could, participate in the meeting tonight.
Happy to do it. Glad it worked better.
All right, with that being said, I move, oh,
Well,
sorry.
The next board meeting will
I'm
be
anxious.
on Monday, June 5th, 2017, at 6 p.m. in this room. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All in favor, please raise your hand or say aye.
All right.